Ladies and gentlemen, in this era of global digital transformation, the necessity for a strong international dialogue between the public and private sectors is abundantly clear. This dialogue is aimed at empowering emerging and evolving equity markets, ultimately shaping the post-digital revolution landscape. The decisions we make today carry the weight of influencing the future, and it is the responsibility of global leaders to champion this transformative journey for their respective communities. In line with our affiliation with the G20 Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion, the World Business Angels Investment Forum is honored to host the Ministerial Roundtable today. This gathering brings together esteemed leaders from around the world, offering a comprehensive platform for in-depth discussions on the G20's strategic agenda to advance global financial inclusion. During the Ministerial Roundtable, our distinguished members will explore innovative strategies and approaches, focusing on fostering a global dialogue that facilitates financial access for startups and advances financial inclusion. Together, we aspire to shape a more inclusive and equitable financial landscape for individuals across the globe. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Baybars Altuntas, Executive Chairman of the World Business Angels Investment Forum, who will moderate the Ministerial Roundtable on Global Dialogue for Enhanced Financial Inclusion and Startup Access to Funding Worldwide. We are joined by esteemed speakers in alphabetical order. His Excellency Dr. Salim Al-Malik, Director General of the Islamic World Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, ISESCO, Her Excellency Sheikha Fadia Al-Sabah, Chair of the Al-Saad Foundation for Knowledge and Scientific Research, Kuwait, His Excellency Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Siboniso Duma, Member of the Executive Council for Economic Development, Tourism, and Environmental Affairs of the KwaZulu-Natal Government. We thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Ministerial Roundtable this year will be in an open format. So, open forum format. There are some questions in my mind I want to ask, but these questions will come from different chapters. So I want to start my question by asking to His Excellency. I just need your comment about this issue, His Excellency. You know, in Europe, 320,000 angel investors invested 9.6 billion euro in startups the year before. And this number is 340,000 angel investors in the United States and in Canada, and it is $26 billion. The beauty of angel investment is, angel investor is using his own money, putting mentorship, know-how, and also sharing his network with startups they invest. So there is no loan issue. There is no interest in this investment style. This means it is 100% compatible with Islamic way of making business. But on the other hand, when we check the investment strategies of Islamic world, because you are representing 54 countries now here, most of the countries don't know even what angel investment is, and they still invest in real estate instead of investing in the future of startup businesses. So the agreement we signed this morning, I think it is really important to bring this mindset to the attention of these countries. What do you think about it, and how your institution will be instrumental to change this mindset in Islamic countries?
Thank you. Truly, we're not an investment organization, but we do support youth in taking a different path. Our main pillars are education, science, and culture. But I always think that investment is part of science. Investment is also part of education and part of the culture that we have to create. Now, if you look at the 54 member states, 57.2% of them are between the age of 18 to 65. And in fact, almost 29 are below the age of 30. So we are talking about a huge youth population that will shape our member state or our ISISCO nations. Now, true that angel investors was not something that people were thinking of, but if you look at now the new visions of many of our member states, I think the angel investors are coming up and showing their way, and the government is supporting them. There are many governments now are supporting SMEs in different ways, either by giving them the funds or also showing them the way of how to become an angel investors. Now, signing 3 MOUs today with ISISCO, with Kuwait, with Bahrain, I think this is a sign that our member states or the ISISCO member state are taking or will be taking a lead in the future. Now, one other thing is that in our organization, ISISCO, in 2019, there was only 2 individuals who are below the age of 30. That's in 2019. Today, 41% of our manpower are youth under the age of 35. 50% women and 50% men. What that indicates that we are supporting youth, we are encouraging youth, and we are giving them the chances. Now, getting to know you and your organization, also being involved and attending the Angel Investor Network, and also encouraging our youth becomes one of our main pillars. We have a program which we call Accelerator Program, where we have reached now to 20 countries. And all what we are looking for is for groups from those countries, selected group. Sometimes they are 5 or 10 in one group, but they are innovators. They come up with their ideas, and that ideas will be nourished. They will have a boot camp for 1 week and 10 weeks for training. And our goal is to establish at least 500 companies by those from our member state. We are currently, as I mentioned, we have 600 ideas from 20 countries, but once we reach the 54, the total of 54 member states, I think we will be reaching to more than 1,000 ideas. Of these, definitely, the majority are those will be angel investors, and that's what we are supporting. So I think the future and our organization is paving the way for the angel investors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It is, of course, important also to alert the policymakers of these states about the importance of angel investment. Generally, policymakers are a little bit far from the angel investment idea because they focus on the big projects, PPP projects, etc. But on the other hand, we know that FDI numbers, foreign direct investment numbers, are decreasing every year. So it may be a good idea to produce more unicorns from each country to compensate this loss. This may also be a good idea for them, a reason to support entropy. Thank you very much for your efforts. Your Excellency, Sheikh Al-Sabah, you are the only woman of our roundtable. It is good to have one woman speaker and give the floor to you. Could you please let us, because you have great experience in empowering the women entrepreneurship, not only in Kuwait. I see that you delivered some speech in Iceland, in the different countries, in Bahrain. Could you please share some insights from your region, from the Gulf region, from the Middle East? What is the current state of women entrepreneurship?
Thank you, Mr. Babers. I think in order to discuss today, we need to go back in time. And I see that in the past, let's say since Al Saad Foundation started our work, we actually started since 1999. Although we established the foundation in 2009, but our work spans back to 1999. And the difference, I think, and the light that has been shed now towards women as entrepreneurs and in entrepreneurship has been great. I mean, not only in Kuwait, we have here today with us members from the BEO and the work they've been putting forward. And this shows that as a region, we're working towards women empowerment, gender equality, and also, I think, which is very important, is putting women in the decision-making role. But in what sense? I mean, we don't want to just put the woman there. We want to create the correct, we want to give them, I guess the best way to say it, the right foundation and create a woman that is able to be in a decision-making role. And as Saad Foundation, we do this through various initiatives. We have the Ibtikar program, which we started since 1999, and it's a program for girls in the public education system. We work with the Ministry of Education in Kuwait, and we run a yearly program. It is a scientific program, and the reasons we chose science specifically is back in 1999, whenever we looked into education for girls, most of the public schools curriculums had to do with the girls in homemaking or home economics. And we wanted to break that barrier and, show these girls at a young age that there is much more that they can create and work on. And starting the program, we started in Kuwait in 1999, moved into the Gulf region in 2011, and since 2020, we've moved into the Arab region, and this year we've signed with Turkey, so we've moved global. And the idea of this Ibtikar initiative is to, hand in hand with the UNESCO as partners with them, is to, move into STEM, digital advancements, and also lifelong learning. And to teach these girls from a young age the right platform, the right system, and how to work together in groups, and how to understand crisis management, among other things. So what came in after that was actually another initiative that we created at Al Saad Foundation, which is the MIWIN, Women Investors and Innovators Network of the Middle East. And we work with the Global Win, which is an entity in England. And we basically run a regional network for women entrepreneurs and startups to promote them to the global market. And I think the next step will be with you as the WBF. And the idea behind that is we have these innovators and inventors back home with amazing ideas, and they've created in different various fields, whether in science or business or sustainability, and how to get them to be able to market their products and to be able to move into this entrepreneurial and startup background. And hopefully with the WBF and the different programs that we'll be running, we'll be able to take these women from inventors and innovators into the financial, economic, and business field, and be able to give them the right tools and understanding to push themselves forward in those fields. So that's where we are. Yes.
Thank you very much. Promoting gender equality is one of the missions of WBAF, but on the other hand, we are giving very importance to your efforts for empowering women entrepreneurship. Why we are giving very importance to your efforts? Because the only prophet of a religion, his wife was a woman entrepreneur. And after he was assigned as prophet, he didn't invite his wife to stay at home and look after the children. He supported her entrepreneurship. I think this is a very good sample. But 100 years later, we see that Islamic world families are not following these footsteps, and they are preferring to keep their wives at home looking after the children. So I think your efforts are very important, and thank you very much for
Just
this.
to say one
Please.
thing about you said. I think the issue is we always mix culture and religion. To note, Sayyida Khadija, as you mentioned, was back then, for that time, as a businesswoman, she was doing great things when she met the Prophet. And also the Quran actually puts women at the forefront in everything. But the difference is sometimes we look at the Arabic culture and we presume that that has to do with the religion. But if we were to follow the religion 100% and Islam, we would see that women are always put up in the front.
Thank you. Thank you for this clarification. Thank you very much. Good answer. Dr. Awal, you are Minister for Tourism of Ghana, but before that, you were Business Development Minister of Ghana. And as a matter of fact, you are also coming from an entrepreneurial background. And you are owning a big media holding in Ghana, and your entrepreneurial background is also has, I think, will now make your work now easy to give some advices to startups, to entrepreneurs, especially for African entrepreneurs. How can they achieve creating a success story, a global success story from Africa? What are the challenging issues? How can governments take more active role in supporting them? Please give some insights, not only from Ghana, from Western Africa, from all Africa. Because, dear ladies and gentlemen, as you heard this morning, Dr. Awal is now a WBAF special envoy to African governments, and he will deliver a powerful opening speech of the Africa Forum this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. on the stage. So please also join his speech. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman Babers. In fact, when I did my research as many years as a PhD student in SME and competitiveness in Africa, I surveyed 150 businesses around Africa. I realized that only about 15% of them survive when the founders exit. Only 50% of businesses survive when the founders exit, either through death or sickness. And one of the things that we realized was that the values that the owners, the founders had were never inculcated in the successes. I thought it was just values of networking, which is very important in SME business. Networking is very important. The social capital that you have with your suppliers, your customers, the community leaders is very important. So as African leaders, one big challenge that we have in terms of entrepreneurial environment, access to funding, to cheap as in quotes, capital. Today in Africa, you need to go for money, borrowing at about 30%. After the COVID pandemic, access to capital has become very, very difficult. In Europe, elsewhere, it might be 5% or 2%. In Africa, it's up to 30%. So access to reliable funding is just not there. Access to business support. It's not just the money. You must also give them business support programs. Simple business etiquettes is also not there. And like I said, mentoring is also a big challenge. People should hold their hands of young people, entrepreneurs, hold them through the nuances of business. That's what to hold them. So funding, business support program, and then mentoring are some of the three key. And then African government also create an entrepreneurial environment. So in Ghana, we have called the entrepreneurship policy. And the policy seems to be looking at these three things: access to funding, business support program, and mentoring. These are the challenges. But the tortoise, no matter what, will get to its destination. Very slow, but persistence. You fall many times as an entrepreneur, you fail many times. If you see somebody's laughing as an entrepreneur, he might have fallen 100, 200 times. Never give up. I have 240 workers in my country, in my businesses. I'm into real estate, I'm into oil and gas, I'm into media. But I've fallen more than 100 times. So perseverance, persistence, and never give up attitude is what will send early stage startups, young people to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Dr. Awal. Thank you, very helpful. Dear MEC, Mr. Duma, you also joined the Ministerial Roundtable last year in Turkey. And KwaZulu-Natal, the biggest province of South Africa and the biggest economic contributor, as a matter of fact, of South Africa. South Africa is one of the few countries in Africa which has a stable economy, and KwaZulu-Natal is one of the biggest ones. So could you please also give some advices now, not to startups, but to SMEs, small businesses? Because 95% of the world economy are small businesses, SMEs. How they can contribute to the development of projects, for example, in KwaZulu-Natal or South Africa?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for affording us this opportunity. I'm sure we're all aware these days that we live in a global village, and we've defeated the dynamism of bipolar world, unipolar world, but we are multi in the character. It means that almost the global village must treat one another. And I'm skeptical of saying that South Africa is a stable economy as if we are doing a comparison in Africa. We're not a big brother, because there is that fight which we must balance the equation at all material time. But we have just come up with a very strategic tool in Africa, the Africa Free Trade, because we've got enough resources that we can trade amongst ourselves in Africa first, because all these years, almost, we've been taking our raw materials, we've been taking all the minerals beneath the soil to be going to Europe. That time has come to an end. We must just develop that for our kids. The SMME is, in fact, for the generation to come. The SMME is a strategic tool. In our context, we call it, we've got something that we call cooperatives. I'm sure we are understanding that it is what developed Italy of what it be. Because in our context, government must create an enabled environment. But because we come from the bad past, we must also intervene from time to time in ensuring that we create facilities, because the banking sector, as you know how they operate, they usually see those who are not strong enough as being someone that they are always regarded as the risk factor. And they will always say that, no, your business is sporadic. Then government must come and intervene by having a stronger branches of banking sector that is able to say that, yes, you're historically disadvantaged, but you still qualify to contribute in the economy. Otherwise, the majority will always be in the lackluster approach, because we must intervene as government. But I'm sure in the diaspora as well, we've been engaged in understanding the balance of forces of the world. I'm sure the majority of the world was looking on our direction during the AGOA, what was going to take place in South Africa. We had to wait and sign the agreement because there is a solidarity for Palestine these days. So we had to balance all those equations. So the SMMEs is part of the contradictions that is going to harness the situation of benefiting the entire global village. But in our context, just understand that we must focus solely on women, focus solely on youth, so focus on the disability up until such time you explore the process of the equilibrium, because as we speak, the majority of our people were taken into the hinterland. Even the agriculture cannot blossom because the proper arable land was taken away from them. It's the same with the textile industry. So we're trying to formulate as the state at some point in time for our people to have a proper peace. They must benefit from the government that was envisaged by the Madiba or Nelson Mandelas of this world. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more speaker. He unfortunately couldn't join in person this year, but he was in our roundtable last year. But he sent a video message to us, Trade Minister of San Marino, and he wants to share his approach about the financial inclusion issue. And after Mr. Minister's message, I will invite our protocol director to the stage to read the English translation of the message of President of Colombia, because he also shared some message from Colombia. So now we will have from Europe, from Middle East, from Latin America. It will be a very inclusive roundtable. Could you please put the message of Mr. Minister?
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you to Mr. Baibar Saltuntas, Executive Chairman of the World Business Angel Investment Forum, and Mr. Sibonizo Duma, Member of Executive Office for Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Fazulu Natal, who again this year invited me to attend this important event. I am honored to address you on a topic of great importance: the business transformation of small businesses and the role of investors in increasing financial inclusion in our communities, particularly in these post-pandemic times. As we emerge from the challenges posed by the pandemic, the resilience and adaptability of small businesses have been remarkable. However, for them to thrive, they need to undergo a significant transformation. This transformation is not merely about adopting new technologies, but also about pushing and embracing innovative strategies and sustainable practices. Investors play a central role, in my opinion, in this transformation. Their investments provide the necessary capital for small businesses to innovate, expand, and create employment opportunities. Moreover, investors bring more than just financial support. They bring knowledge, understanding the unique needs and challenges of our communities, and are invested in the long-term prosperity of the local economy. Financial inclusion is not just about providing access to financial services. It's about empowering individuals and businesses to participate fully in the economy. Investors, by supporting small businesses, can drive financial inclusion by creating jobs, supporting local entrepreneurship, and fostering economic stability. Quality of investors is key in this process. Investors who are committed to ethical business practices, social responsibility, and sustainable development can make a significant impact. They can mentor small business owners, provide valuable insight, and encourage environmentally friendly practices, ensuring that the transformation is not only profitable but also responsible. In the post-pandemic era, digitalization and online platforms have become vital for business survival, especially for small states. Investors can support small businesses in the adopting digital technologies, represented a boost for our economy. enabling them to reach a wider audience, optimize operations, and increase customer experiences. This digital transformation not only increases the competitiveness of small businesses, but also contributes to the general economic growth of the community, especially in the near future. Institutions also play a crucial role in the economic and digital transformation of a country. First of all, they must create a stable and investment-friendly environment by providing clear and consistent regulations that encourage innovation and economic growth, especially for small and medium enterprises that need this kind of support by institutions. In the context of digital transformation, institutions must promote digitalization by also investing in strong digital infrastructure and promoting cybersecurity to protect business and citizens. Moreover, public policies must foster the adoption of emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things, and encourage research and development in this area. Cultural aspect is very, very important at the moment. Institutions can also play an active role in fostering collaboration between the public and private sectors, the only path, the only way, in my opinion, to win the challenges that we have in front of us. Facilitating partnership that promote innovation and the creation of new businesses. Moreover, they must be flexible and ready to adapt to rapid technological changes, constantly updating policies and regulations to keep up with the digital evolution. In short, institutions must act as catalysts for a country's economy and digital transformation, creating an environment that fosters innovation, access to technology and digital security. This economic transformation, also linked to the past pandemic phase, is such an important theme for me that I thought of including the concept of necessary change in connection with roots and tradition in this work, which has the ambition of capturing the historical moment of great change that the Republic of San Marino is going throughout in a world undergoing great transformation. Therefore becomes urgent to rethink and redesign a new economic identity for my country and for the present in it, a coordinated and clear way on the international scene. An identity that must not forget the ancient and the deep roots of tradition, but which must make its way in the world by focusing on innovation, industry, entrepreneurship, research, and the ability and courage to imagine the world of tomorrow and to become a protagonist in it. In conclusion, the Republic of San Marino, despite its size, cannot ignore the moment of great transformation. All countries all over the world, in my opinion, cannot ignore the moment of great transformation. It must become part of it, understanding its characteristics, peoples, dynamics, and developments. The business transformation of small businesses and the quality of investors are interconnected elements that can rewrite our local economies. By supporting and investing in small businesses, investors can drive financial inclusion, foster innovation, and create a sustainable economic future for all. Thank you very much once again, and I wish you good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you.
Yes, may I invite dear Marenko to the stage. This is a special message of the President of Colombia. It is in Spanish, naturally, so she will now present the English version.
Dear Dr. Altuntas, receive my very special greeting from me, as well as from each of those who are part of the government of change in Colombia. It is a great honor for me to receive your invitation.
We don't hear you very well. Maybe you can use this one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Dear Dr. Altuntas, receive a very special greeting from me, as well as from each of those who are part of the government of change in Colombia. It is a great honor for me to receive your invitation to participate in the opening ceremony of the World Congress of Angel Investors WBF 2023. Especially at this critical time for humanity when we must work together to address the global challenges, allow me, along these lines, to share with you some of the ideas that we are leading worldwide to face our greatest challenge as a species, the climate crisis, which involves one of the main themes in this Congress, financial inclusion. We are facing a crisis that has the potential to end life on Earth if we don't act now. That is why greater participation by countries vulnerable to climate change in the global financial system is necessary. Our proposal is aimed at articulating a depth of swap for climate action, using an instruments of special drawing right, SDRs, from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, as was done in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. In this way, the debt of countries such as those in Latin America and the Caribbean, which concentrate the largest numbers of victims associated with climate events in the world, will be reduced. And fiscal space will be open so they can invest in more mitigation and adaptation measures, climate change. We will thus achieve a great Marshall Plan that will not only advance the environmental justice, but we need also the social justice, depending on the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. In this sense, I want to highlight that in Colombia, we have a goal of moving towards a knowledge society, leaving behind the dependence of fossil fuels and working towards reindustrialization. In this sense, I want to highlight that in Colombia, we also have the goal of moving towards a knowledge society, leaving behind the dependence of fossil fuels and working towards reindustrialization, connectivity and inclusion of the popular economy to achieve the closing gaps. I reiterate that I'm deeply honored by your invitation, and without a doubt, it will be a great opportunity to present our approaches to these issues that are so fundamental for the future of humanity and our countries. However, I must inform you that with sadness, due to the scheduling reason, we won't be able to attend this wonderful Congress, but I wish you a successful one. Gustavo Petro Urrego, President of the Republic of Colombia, Presidente de la República de Colombia. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Now, we have only 2 or 3 minutes, and let's give 1 minute per speaker to give the most important message, the most important communication message of your institution to the world. Mr. DJ, what is it?
We will be focusing on youth, which represent the future. And the only way to fetch the future is by innovation. And that's why by 2025, the ISISCO is going to be an innovative organization. So innovation and youth is the way forward.
Thank you. Innovation, youth. Sheikha Al-Sabah, please.
Thank you. I think my colleague here, His Excellency, put it exactly how I would say. Innovation is the future. And I think focusing on the youth and driving them towards innovation is the key for the future. And Al Saad Foundation, that's what we strive for, and all of our initiatives work toward that one goal. And I think also inclusivity and connection. I think that's where the world is going. We need to be more connected, whether it's with government or non-governmental organizations. Hand in hand, we can work together. You know, as we say, one hand, in Arabic, we say one hand can't clap. So hopefully, and we strive to make better connections and be able to push forward with different entities to work together for the youth, for innovation, and for the future. Thank you.
Inclusivity and connectivity. Thank you very much. Mr. Minister?
Thank you, Chairman. African governments are more than committed to creating an enabling environment that would foster the growth of early-stage startups and SMEs. We'll collaborate with the private sector to ensure that the young people have access to funding and business support to grow and create prosperity for the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thanks so much. Mr. Minister?
Thank you so much, Chair. Good policies are only good when they are implemented and yielding a positive fruit. We are so delighted on the World Angels in particular that it is creating this thing. So the world is going to be creating a lot of opportunities for networking, because networking is what is going to create a peaceful global village. Thank you.
Mr. Minister, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, my keyword will be partnership. I think we signed many MOUs this morning, but I think it will be a good idea to turn this Congress to a partnership platform, not only for WBAF, for ISESCO, for your foundation, for Ghana, and for KwaZulu-Natal, because we have great participants from India, from Sharjah, the Technology Park, etc. I think when the Bahrain Entrepreneur Organization, when we came together, we can create more impact. So let's make 2 + 2 = 5 and try to mobilize the world economy through our global partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have a tradition at WBAF. We will move together with ministers, and I also want to invite Sheikh Al Khalifa to the stage, because you have to practice it. Next year you will do it in Bahrain. Please join us. And now we are going to make a bell ceremony for the official opening of the Congress together. After this, at 1 p.m., we will all meet at the VIP lunch with ministers. Please find your name on the, in front of the door, and let's meet there, and let's try to empower the world economies together, all together. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, let's move.